For a long time, India has produced a rich crop of talented shooters. It is always the event we see the country perform in, even at the Olympics. This next guest is one of the women who started the streak of winning in this sport. Anjali Bhagwat is a legend in her own right. She is one of India's most accomplished and respected sport shooters and a Khel Ratna awardee. She is known for her exceptional skill, precision and unwavering dedication to the sport. She is a three-time Olympian and a former world #1 shooter. She has had a career that spanned over 2 decades and has opened her own shooting academy to continue to dedicate her life to the game. Anjali, thank you and welcome to the show. Anjali, what an absolute honor to have you on our show. Thank you for making time.
My pleasure.
To be here. I think we have the unique feat achievement, if we may boast, that we have a first triple Olympian on our show. So to start off with, what is it like, carrying that title of being a triple Olympian, and which would be your most memorable if you could pick Olympics?
Feels great. And after competing at 3 Olympics, I think you have a lot of experience with you to share for the next generation. And Olympics is completely a different world. You must have seen that. When I entered my first Olympics, that was Sydney 2000, and I got the wild card. I could not qualify because I was amateur then. I had just started my professional journey in shooting. And I was in all the finals in the World Cup. So India was a developing country in that event in those days. So I was offered a wild card, and that was my first Olympics, and I was very, very excited because I had no tension of performing.
Right.
That was a good golden chance for me to start my international journey. And then it was Athens Olympics 2004 when I was world #1. And lot of expectations, my own expectation on my shoulder, and that was very hard competition for me in my whole career. And then Beijing 2008 was a bonus period for me. I had slowed down in my career. It was just as a hobby, and I couldn't keep away from that arena. So I used to go practice, train, used to win, and then I got the Olympic qualification in the World Cup. So I went and I shot well. But out of all these 3 Olympics, I think Sydney is my favorite one, because the local participation in Sydney Olympics was amazing. The short story I will share, once I missed my bus, because morning our training starts around 9 o'clock. And the range was very, very far from the Olympic village. So it used to take 4 hours to reach there. Yeah. So we used to start very early, 4:30, 5-ish something. And I missed that bus. And I had my pre-event trainings. That was very important for me.
How old were you at?
I was 30 then,
Okay.
30, 31.
Okay.
So I started my game at very late age.
Correct.
And then I was just standing at the bus stop. So one gentleman came and he asked me, is there any problem? So I shared, yes, I missed my bus. So he got the car and he drove me to the shooting range, and in between he stopped and showed a big mansion over there. That's where I live. I said, what? And you're my chauffeur. So the contribution of locals were, they put in their heart into it, and it was amazing. I mean, the stay, food, and though it was my first Olympics, I could meet all elite athletes, right from Serena to everybody I could meet, and that was more exciting moment for me. And me, Abhinav, only 2 shooters, and we were accompanied by Nisha Millet,
Right.
Gopi Chand, Aparna Popat, so
All the mentors and champion coaches of today.
were there. So we really had a great time in Sydney. And then it was, when I went for my competition, it was not there in my back of mind कि मुझे बहुत अच्छा करना है, I have to prove myself, this and that. I just casually went, I shot well. And then I became the first Indian shooter, and after PT Usha, the second athlete to enter the Olympic finals. So
Fantastic.
that was a great, positive turning point for me. So Sydney is my favorite.
It's almost like the Olympics. Obviously, the Olympics you had most fun at is also the one you
Yes.
competed best at. Australia it lives and breathes sport, I think, as a country.
Correct.
So that clearly showed.
I could experience that.
Yes, fantastic to listen. When you talk about Olympic moments like this, you say Games Village, and I think of my experiences in Beijing. You were I think from if you go from Athens, you were like didn't go in with too much expectation.
It was a little low key,
Correct.
budget.
It is a new
event,
and new for you as well, right?
Yes.
First time, and then you go through 12 years of world class, world level shooting, and then you go into 2008 as a seasoned champion with more expectation and pressure on your shoulders. How did you manage to handle that expectation and pressure by the time you got to Beijing as world number one?
I had more pressure in 2004. 2004, I was, at that world stage, I was world number one.
Correct. Okay.
And just before the 2004 Olympics, 2 months before the Olympics, I had won the World Cup finals, which is a very prestigious competition for us. So people and I, we were expecting me to just go and get that medal back to our country.
Right.
I was that confident. But I know something went wrong on that day, and it just didn't happen. But handling a process is a pressure is a process.
Correct.
You need a lot of experience, you need a lot of hard work, you need a lot of training, and it's a package, you have to work in. Everything counts: your diet, your fitness, your mental training, your mindset, what you breathe, what you eat, how you train, everything counts. So it's a process. It's not on that particular day that you have that pressure. We expect that pressure is going to be there. So every Olympic champion, every world number one has a pressure. Everybody has the same pressure, equal pressure. It just depends on how that person handles it.
Right.
And that requires a lot of training and experience.
So when you talk about, like for example with swimming, we have the Olympics and we also have the World Championships. Now to win a World Championship gold, they say sometimes though the name is the Olympic medal, it's more prestigious because you have more countries participating at a World Championship in swimming than you have.
Yes.
Is it similar in the Olympics? Is it similar for shooting?
Very, very similar for us, because in shooting only 2 shooters from each country can qualify.
Correct. Yes.
So the number of participants are less.
Watered down at the Olympics.
Yeah.
Yes.
Whereas in World Championship we have 5 entries from every country, 3 to team and 2 for MQ as a minimum qualifying score. And that too, Asian countries like China, Korea, Japan are at top level in shooting. So we have more tough competition in Asian Games rather than in Olympics.
So then when you went to the World Cup, did you expect that you would come back with a gold from the World Cup pre-Olympics?
Yes.
Wow.
Because I was at that standard, because it started from 2000 onwards. I started preparing professionally. And very unfortunately, a coach which I had before the 2000 Olympics, his contract was not renewed. So I was practicing on my own. So 4 years was a great struggle for me. Then I was in contact with that coach who has joined. He had joined a Japanese team. Then so I was in contact with, his name is Laszlo Sucha. He's from Hungary. And wherever Japanese used to keep their camp abroad, so I used to join them.
Wow. Okay.
So that way I prepared. And immediately after 2000 Sydney, 2002 was my peak performance period, where I won Commonwealth Games, Commonwealth Championship, Asian Games medals, World Championship, World Cups, and you name it, I got a medal. And then I had that confidence, yes, I am there, and I can do anything anywhere.
It's fantastic.
2003 was also good. I had few World Cup medals, few international, Asian, European Championships medals. And 2004 I was seasoned. I was so confident girl. Yes, I'm just preparing. I was very much focused. Everything was planned, and the journey was smooth. And of course, it was very hard for me to stay away from my home all 4 years. I visited my home maybe twice, thrice in a year. A lot of hard work I put in, lot of efforts and positive efforts with good results coming back to me. But the end result was bad in 2004 Olympics.
It is because we as a country define the end result based on whether you bring back a medal or not.
Yes.
But I think the journey leading up to it, I have never sat across a triple Olympian, a Khel Ratna awardee, and I think you took a whole minute of our show mentioning all the international medals. That is also so rare and so special.
Yeah.
To become an athlete of your status and caliber, it does not happen overnight. As success doesn't, it takes years and years of hard work, preparation, as you mentioned.
True.
So we'll take us back to a younger Anjali who found inspiration to play this sport. How did it all begin?
I was very bubbly, unfocused girl, like a normal child in the college. But sport was my priority, of course. And after my 10th board exam, I was looking for a college which encourages sports or any other activities. So fortunately, I found Kirti College, which was just behind my house. I joined that college just to join National Cadet Corps.
Okay.
Which I had learned a lot about, and they used to teach many activities, right from marathon to shooting, yoga, judo, karate. Everything was inclusive in that package. So I joined, and and of course in NCC I pursued mountaineering and trekking.
Okay.
So I used to do that.
Not shooting. This was not on the radar.
It just happened accidentally.
Okay.
I was destined to be there. So it happened, and when a few shooters who used to take part from NCC category, they were from the junior college and they had exams, and at the same time they had shooting competitions. So from NCC it was compulsory to send cadets. So our commandant, Major PB Nadgir, the whole credit I give to her, because अगर उन्होंने force नहीं किया होता, I wouldn't have been here. So she forced me, no, you guys have to go and replace our junior cadets, go to the range, try once, and then let me know what happens. So first day, me and my teammate Deepali Deshpande, she is also a good shooter, she is an Olympian and now a coach. So we went together to that shooting range, which is in Worli, where we have our state association, Maharashtra State Rifle Association. So on the first day we went to the range, and officials thought that being an NCC cadet, I know everything about weapon, and I had seen weapon for the first time.
You have never trained a day in your life.
Trained. So they gave me a rifle and 5 bullets and asked me to fire. I didn't know how to load, where to fire. I just copied few other NCC cadets. I lied down and tried to put weapon. And then after 5 shots, they asked me to bring back my target, and I was like, kahan pe mara hai? I don't know. I brought back my blank target. Nobody would have thought that I could be a shooter. And then that day, me and Deepali said, no turning back. We are not coming back to this place again. But the next day we had to, because it was compulsory for us. And then next day onwards, my first local coach, which is Mahesh Vichare sir, was there. He was from Parla. So he, understood कि कुछ तो गड़बड़ है यहाँ पे. Then he, gave me few tips कि this is the alignment, this is how you aim, this is how you release the trigger, and we started our training. And within 7 days of that training, so I got little bit of confidence कि how to handle weapon, how to shoot. Okay, then, and I had that knack कि चलो how to make a good grouping. And then after 7 days of practice, officials asked us to compete for the nationals, and national was in Ahmedabad. So that was the main attraction, to go to Ahmedabad so we can buy good saris. Right. And I mean, nothing was there in my mind about shooting. But that was my first. In 1988 was my first nationals through NCC category. But after 7 days, I don't know, I competed and I won my first national silver medal, and that was the first medal for our state, because I was the first batch to start shooting from Maharashtra. And then I was so excited. I really shot well. I still wonder how I shot without any knowledge. And from there, but I was not very sure or very serious about this event. NCC के साथ साथ चलो, we'll continue, and then daily I was felicitated in the college. My photograph came in the newspaper, so that was great honor for my parents. So they also supported me. And I daily we used to go, train, come back, but main focus was NCC activities. But I don't know, in that process when I also didn't realize when it became my career, you know. Then slowly I started winning state medals. I was a junior national champion. In 2 years I was a national champion, and then वो चक्कर में मैं फंस गई, and then it became my career.
How did your parents take to this decision?
I am very fortunate to have, you know, open-minded parents who supported me throughout my career. But to be very honest, they didn't know what exactly I am doing on the range.
Nor did you in your first.
Yes. So this sport was very new for our country, you know, the media, and we grew together. You know,
Right, okay.
Yeah, we used to sit and, you know, discuss ki this event is there in the Asian Games, this event is there in the Olympics. So these are the events, these are the results, this is the, you know, these are the rules and regulations. So we grew together, we learned together. So we have a special bonding, you know, the media, those journalists and
Correct.
our batches. We
Correct.
seriously had a special bonding. So they value what we actually did and what we achieved. It was not very easy to achieve that. But then for my parents, yes, I really thank them, because in those days, taking a decision to, you know, pick up sport as your main career, and taking a decision, you know, to leave everything aside.
Correct.
Even I took decision of getting married that late, you know, getting married at the age of, you know, 30 in those days was, you know, big thing. I mean, my mom had a lot of, you know, incidences to face, you know, from relatives, from friends, कि क्या कर रही है लड़की, इनका तो कुछ पता नहीं है, देख नहीं रहे हैं. But they had, you know, trust in me. They had trust in their culture, what they give, what they teach you. So within that, you know, frame I worked, and fortunately I had good support of my teammates, my colleagues, my mentors, coaches. So it's a good teamwork result.
When you talk about your coaches, was there, you mentioned initially a couple of names that you feel were instrumental. As you grew with your career and as you went on, was there a coach? I'll ask you to talk about coaches specifically later on through training, but was there anything that was said to you when you were obviously then knew how to load, you know, your weapon and shoot it? Was there anything that said when you were in competition, say as a junior national champion, that has stuck with you till today, that you feel was a turning point mentally with you?
Yeah, because see, our generation is, you know, first generation to start this event. So we had no weapon in hand, we had no ammunition. We used to just do a dry holding practice, and whenever we used to go for the competition, we used to buy ammunition and shoot. So in that situation, we have trained. But I remember one sentence of my local coach, who's Sanjay Chakravarti. He was from Navy, and he trained me in initial stages before Laszlo Suchak took over.
Correct. Okay.
And whatever, you know, national achievements I have done, just because of his good training, because he was also new. He also didn't have any access to good technology or technical know-how about this event. So we were guinea pigs. कभी ऐसे करके देखो, ऐसे करके देखो.
It was all a learning process.
Yeah, it's a learning process. But one day, we used to go for the international competitions and come back empty-handed, because we had no support of, we were not facilitated properly.
Correct.
What outgears we use in shooting, what support it gives, we didn't even know why we are using it. So we used to just go to some Indian tailor, get it stitched, jeans ka koi jacket, trouser, because nothing.
That understanding wasn't there.
Understanding was not there. And then one day, you know, after 5-6 years of my training, I say, yeah, I am winning national championship, I am a national champion, junior champion, this, but whenever I go abroad, iske aage kya?
What do you do?
So I'm bored. I was sitting at the range, I was very depressed. And then my coach came. So he you know, guessed it, what is there in my mind. So, kya hua? Nothing, sir, I'm just feeling as a very low. So, what is the future in this game? Am I wasting my time? Should I be considering this event as my, you know, hobby?
Yes.
And select some, I mean, I have to give priorities to my life, no? So, but then he said ki being a shooter, being an athlete, so sincere, you are putting in so much sincere hard work, and you are training so hard, you are a confident person. I am, you know, dreaming about you carrying a national flag. Every day I have that dream that yes, Anjali is carrying a national flag and she has plenty of medal in hand. If I have that confidence, if I can dream of that, why can't you? You are the person who's going to do that. And that sentence changed everything. A person who has nothing in his hand, we never paid him any coaching fees. That was his passion to train, and it was our passion to go and train with him. So why I am so nervous, why I am so negative about it, and that sentence changed everything. And when I achieved that standard, when I went for the Commonwealth Manchester game in 2002, I was the flag bearer of the Indian contingent. And you know how it feels when you hold
Absolutely.
the national flag. And when I was holding the national flag, the whole Indian contingent was marching behind me. And the first step in the stadium, the whole stadium roared up, and then I just remembered my coach's face. Yeah, Sanjay sir was dreaming of this moment, and that was so great.
Wow. So just like Moha, nature's perfect formula, we have the perfect athlete with us today who is a blend of confidence, to win confidence, discipline, skill, and everything you really require to be a shooting champion. So Anjali, you talked about your early years and the mentors and coaches that inspired you to fulfill all your dreams within shooting. What according to you has been the most intense period of training, so to speak, in your career, and what was your schedule like during that phase?
It started from 2000 Sydney onwards. When I returned from Sydney Olympics, I learned many things, what this sport is really about. It's not just physical, it's not just technical. You need to be too much dedicated towards it and diligently train every day, and so many things I learned. And it used to be a whole day job, because my session used to start morning 6:30, where I used to do yoga and meditation, which used to calm down my pulse, my body. And yoga is very useful for shooters, because we need to have a flexible body to get good position, to get good awareness of our muscle groups, because you need still body, because your body can't be, no human body is still, because we have pulse rates going on, blood circulation going on. We need to pick up that rhythm. And if you have a low BP or low pulse rate, you have a slow rhythm, so good, you have advantage to release your trigger at the right place at the right time.
Correct.
So much of chemistry into it. And after that, then we used to do technical training, and my two events were 3 position 50 meters, and one is 10 meters indoor air rifle. So in 3 position we need to practice 3 different positions, like one is lying, one is sitting, and one is standing. And that event is played on the outdoor range, where too many outdoor factors matters, like changing light, changing wind and everything. And air rifle event is only standing, it is in indoor, so this consistent light, so still targets, a totally different event. So each position and each event needs lot of training. So whole day from 9 to around 5 o'clock I used to do technical training, and then physical workout, and then calming down your body, some stretches, the finishing program after your hard work, and then your day is over.
So it's been a very long, successful journey as a shooter yourself. Today you are teaching. You have several academies that you head, and you're trying to mentor and inspire a whole new generation of shooters to become as good as you and better than you, I'm sure. So how emotionally, how has that transition been, and how have you changed the way you look at the sport today vis-a-vis what you did say in 2004?
There's a vast change in our game now.
Okay.
Yeah, I was a traditional shooter, simply following the technique and not having good weapons or ammunition in hand, no accessory support. But now the game has totally changed. The rules and regulations have also changed a lot, and now they have fully good technically better equipments in hand. more accessory support, more access to all the facilities. And I feel when I started, thinking about training somebody, coaching somebody, so initially it was very difficult. मुझे लगता था मैं ही लेके shoot करूँ. So
you want to do it for them.
Yeah, in a different role was very, very difficult for me. But now I enjoy this. I learn a lot from my students every day. It is challenging to handle because it's an individual sport. You need to, handle a particular shooter in special way. Everybody's, different. The logic is same, but their perspectives are different. Their way of thinking are different. Their nature is different. Somebody is so hyper, somebody is so, calm, somebody is like neutral. So you need to know that person. You need to know inside out of that person. That person should trust you, that before, a parent, that shooter should think about it, that I should share this, whether it is personal, house problem or game problem, anything, should have that trust that I should share it with my coach, that she or he will be able to solve and help me. That relation has to be, built up between shooter or maybe a student and a coach.
So when you look at a show reel of a very successful athlete such as yourself, and this is important for young athletes that are watching and tuning in, it almost looks like there has only been success and more success. It's like a fairy tale story. When you look at, if I Google your name and I look at your list of achievements, it's never ending, right? But what also young athletes need to understand is that we have gone through a lot of failures, we've gone through a lot of disappointments along the way as well. I do not want to delve too much into it, but if I have to ask you this question, because great athletes learn, they don't get disappointed, they learn. So if you had to pick, one moment where you felt like you came back from a tournament disappointment and what you learned from it or what you did to be a better athlete because of it, which would it be?
But I believe that these phases are very important and very necessary in athletes' lives.
Yes.
So every athlete has ups and downs in his or her career.
Yes.
I learned a lot from my failure. Initially, it was only failure because we had nothing in our hand.
Right.
But that confidence and determination was there. No, one day I will show, I will prove myself.
Correct.
And that, used to motivate me. No, do it. You fail, but one day will be yours. And I continued my work. It was really like a fairy tale for me. I won Commonwealth and Asian, I was world champion, then I was world number 1, this and that. And then with that great confidence, I went for my Athens Olympics 2004. It was just a matter of, competing and getting back that medal again.
You're right.
Everybody, the whole world was expecting me to win. But I don't know what happened on that day. I, woke up from the wrong side of the bed. What? I don't know. But it just didn't happen. And I am still wondering what went wrong on that day. Everything was so perfect. I had no pressure. I was calm in my, usual mindset. I was too much focused. Everything was going so smooth. The only target was not perfect. I was releasing best shot. Result was not getting good, and then end result was bad. I didn't even qualify for the finals. I mean, in 3 years, it happened for the first time that I am not there in the finals, and that was very hard thing for me. I was, totally distracted, and I sat in the spectator gallery because I wanted to watch the finals. And for a moment, tears came into my eyes and I was like looking down, and then I took a deep breath. Why only me? Why this happened with me? And then I looked up to so many good shooters, better than me maybe, seniors to me, and they already had good career in shooting. They were also roaming in the spectator gallery. She also didn't qualify. She also doesn't. Oh, it's normal then. I'm one of them. I have to accept my, failure with, great courage. And the moment had come into my mind, ki it's over. Now I have stopped shooting. No more. No, from next day, no touching my rifle. I will not, turn up to the shooting range. But that was very momentary. The next moment I saw all other great players, roaming around in the spectator gallery. Only 8 fortunate shooters were there in the range. I felt so normal. Okay, this is fine. I mean, I have put in a lot of work. I was true to myself. I gave everything, whichever possible. Whatever I had to do, I did. It was not there in my destiny, so I didn't get it. But then I learned how to handle it.
Correct.
And for the next day onwards, I was there on the range. I started my training. I was dreaming of Beijing Olympics, and it happened.
I think this is so important for young athletes to understand. 2 lessons that I am learning also is that you have to have acceptance as an athlete.
Yes.
You can do all you can do, but you have to be able to accept what result is given to you after you've put in everything that you're in control of.
Yes.
And the second thing is, I think that the next day you went back to the range. I'm sure that you went back. Yes, there was this overwhelming feeling that I will get to the next Olympics, and you did that. But definitely, I think love for the sport must have pulled you back.
I mean, it's in my blood.
It's
I
in
can't
your blood.
stay away
You
from my
cannot stay
sport.
away from it. It took you 1 year. I was just talking to our guest earlier that it took me 1 month mentally to get back to the pool after I didn't qualify for the Athens Olympics in 2004. But whenever I talk about this, my mom always tells me, but you didn't go back to training, but your university sent you for 3 national university tournaments, so you were still in touch with the water. I never want to accept it because I want to say, no, I took a month off. But I think what draws us back is our love for what we do. If you had to pick one aspect within shooting, it could be anything that you still miss, or you say you're competing, but you really love, what would it be?
The smoke of that shot.
Wow.
When we shoot the .22 ammunition target, and then I shot it, and that smoke comes, I really miss it.
So you've been associated with this sport for what, how many years would you say? 20 years?
Last year was my 37th nationals.
37th national.
Yes.
And you still talk about the smoke of the shot with as much joy as, look at the smile on your face, it's so lovely.
When I had my son, I was on bed rest because it was a late, child in a late year.
Right.
So, I was away from shooting range around, a year maybe. But every day, I used to practice virtually. I used to just close my eyes and used to imagine I am there on the range and unpacking my stuff. Every detail I used to, visualize and experience it. And when I was ready, when my son was 2.5 months old, national was there, and I said, no, I am going to compete. I am ready. So my husband said, how come you are ready? I mean, nationals are in 2 months and you are on break for more than a year. No, I am ready. And within 2 months, I went and I won that national championship with young shooters,
Amazing.
They were young, 20 years younger to me, but then I was mentally there.
You have done enough visualization leading up to it too.
Yes.
Fantastic.
So it has to be here and here in your heart.
So Anjali, you've talked about your 3 Olympics and your experiences from it, your World Cup gold medal, Commonwealth, Asian Games, the list just goes on and on. But let us put you on the spot because we have to see a more human side and not a superhuman side to you. Your first international tournament, pressure, expectations you put on yourself, maybe your coaches, the country. What was it like? How did you handle it?
It is also a story because my first international was in India.
Okay.
It was in Madras.
Okay.
It was South Asian Federation game. So I was selected in one event, that was my master event, air rifle. So where we competed, and I won individual bronze and team silver. I think we won in those days because our standard was very low, and I think Sri Lanka had gold and we had silver. And then I thought, competition is over. And that night, one incident happened. The Sri Lankan country put protest against us that we have number of entries more than what is allowed.
Okay.
So only 4 girls were allowed to take part in 2 events together, but we had 5 entries of from a ladies category. So the fifth girl who was supposed to shoot on the next day, her name was taken by. And there was a lot of drama. That girl was very sad and she was crying, and we were also feeling very sad for her. We also cried, and whole night we were awake. And late night at 2:30, 3 o'clock, whole night we were awake. I got a message that I have to replace that, because I had already played, so my name was there. And that was 3 position event, 50 meters. So very challenging event, and that too, I was not mentally prepared. I had no practice of that event, and I have to, compete, and that for in the international event for my country. But the whole night I prepared myself. नहीं, अभी इनको दिखाएंगे. We must show them. I must show them कि what mistake they have done. And next day with that, aggressive mindset I went. It's not positive, aggressive. I wanted to show them. And when I was entering the range, that girl who missed out on that event, she was sitting, and very sweet of her, she came to me, don't worry Anjali, you just show them what we are. मुझे नहीं मिला, you have to show them, give them back. Yes, I will do that. And I went and I shot with that aggressive mind, and I won that event, and India also won gold medal in the team for the first time in the history. And that was the experience of my first international. I mean, it was
fantastic.
Mixed emotions.
But leading up into it,
sad for my friend, but I also shot very well, and that was a good international
start
journey.
Good debut.
Yes.
So just like Moha encourages confidence through its range of products, we are in conversation with Anjali, who has such an illustrious career. It's hard to imagine her not being confident of picking up a gold medal and breaking a national record every time she stepped onto her shooting arena. Speaking of golds and national records and firsts, you were our first Indian woman to win a gold medal at a World Cup. So how did it feel in that moment to break that barrier, to break the mold and come out successful?
Yeah, feels great when you're on top of the world, and winning World Cup first time for our country was, I was very, very excited, and that was a really, barrier breaking performance, because the whole Indian shooting arena was waiting for it. We used to go, we used to try, and someday we wanted to do, and it happened. So everybody was happy. It was not just my victory, it was, Indian shooting team was celebrating ki we have entered. Now we have opened our doors, and now shooters will start achieving and excelling in this sport. And really we did that. After me, few other shooters like Suma, Deepali, Abhinav, they all started achieving great heights in this sport, and then our sport reached up to that standard where we confidently 5 years down the line we could say that yes, we have 5 to 6 shooters standing in the top 10 ranking of ISSF, that is International Sports Shooting Federation.
Fantastic. It must have been, I think, the proudest moment of your life at that point. It's hard to imagine that when you look back on a career as amazing as yours, that you have any regrets. But if you had to, not regret really, but if you had to, if I had to ask you, is there something that you could have chosen to do differently in your preparation or in your competition, what would it be?
No, whatever I did with full trust and belief. The only change I would like to make, I would born 10 years later.
You were born 10
years later.
And why is that?
So I would have had more, facilities,
okay.
No waste of time, good ammunition in hand, so I could have performed, better than what I could do in those 10 years.
Given now that you're training kids who have the best of facilities, and you're looking at them and you're thinking, I want to be born 10 years. My time, it wasn't there in my time. But you've also, in spite of not having clearly the best of preparation, you did
but
what
my taste of my victory is much, sweeter than what we get today. That's an easy win. But we competed in those years where we had nothing. We didn't even have 50 meters range in those days. We used to cut our target of 50 meters in the half size and put it on the 25 meters distance wall and used to practice.
Amazing.
So, yeah.
And at that time you were competing with people from around the world who had those facilities already.
Yes. We never touched electronic targets. We used to have a pulley target where no paper target we used to put, and with the pulley send it to that particular distance, bring it back, see our result, again the next target. Whereas abroad people had electronic targets, just shoot and see your result on the monitor. So the rhythm was different, our rhythm was different, everything was so different there.
It's like your success is born of this immense adversity that you had to, face through your initial struggle and then become who you were.
That was fun, yeah.
That was what you just said, that was the fun of it.
Yes.
See, every athlete that I talk to, I try to, bring out some emotion in terms of the struggle that they faced. And one athlete said, but that was my challenge, that was my joy.
Yeah.
And you're saying, but that was my
special.
fun. That was your passion. My struggle was my joy. So now that you have, or rather your students have, the most perfect setup compared to what you all did, you're still teaching them and you're making them even better shooters. How do you see, your journey moving forward within the sport?
Sport has evolved, sport has changed, and it has reached, to a very, very high level. And I feel proud that we are the pioneers, and I am so happy with the current generation. Our current generation is very, very smart and very positive, very aggressive, very intelligent. They know what they are doing and they are doing right thing. So we are getting results, and I have many hopes from our current generation in the coming few Olympics. We already have all color medals.
Absolutely.
In our event, but there's much more to achieve. And as a senior shooter, as an Olympian, I have a lot of experience. Though you have many facilities, accessory support, all support, but experience is, which you can't get anywhere.
Yes, correct.
That it is not there in the books, because practical experience teaches you a lot. I can now imagine, or I can judge, or I can make out what that person has to think at this moment. He is in that certain situation when he is winning or when he is losing, what he has to do exactly. He can't change his technique, but from here how to change him, how to teach him to change himself, to handle himself on that particular moment or at that particular shot. Only practical experience can help you out. So I'm fortunate, and I feel happy and lucky to share that experience with the current generation.
I have to know this from a coaching perspective, because you're also our first coach athlete super combination that we have. From a coaching perspective, you talk about technique, you talk about pace preparation through off season. With swimmers, we rather they prepare more and race less, unless it's a really big competition that they are going to. You say you find fault in an athlete who's doing very well in practice and does not do well in tournaments. Would you still give priority to preparing him in, say for example, in your city, in your academy, or would you encourage him to step out of the country and compete more?
I would like him to compete more within the domestic level.
Okay.
Because once you get that fear of not performing or not able to perform at the international, circuit, then it gets stuck into your mind.
Okay.
So rather keep him ready, make him ready in the domestic tournaments, and then send him abroad.
And one more coaching question, since now I have the opportunity to ask you. You had a fantastic first international experience, right? But other athletes may not have that, the good fortune of doing that. What if you're as a coach, you have a shooter who's come back very disappointed? You say it becomes a mental block almost. So what do you do for him to unlearn those, that feeling of disappointment? How would you adapt to that situation as a coach?
We have to start afresh. We need to work with his mental mindset first, and need to make him believe in his caliber. You can do it. It was not the end of your career. It is just a starting point. And that confidence, with every day's practice, if he crosses his limits, if he crosses his maximum performance, say if I am shooting at 90%, even 90.5% will help him to, gain his confidence back. So it's a whole work from
All items.
all items. Let him train technically, let him be in the competitive zone, as well as I need to work out on his mental state.
And this would be all. I'm seeing there's a trend within coaching for shooting, which is a lot of one-on-one application you do need as a coach. But then your academies also have many students, right? As
Yes.
part of them. So does that mean if you have 40 students, you have to have as many coaches for each student?
Yeah, we need to have different level of coaches, like A level, B level, C level. Beginners go to C level. The middle level shooter comes to then B level. Then we have to hand over to upgrade his knowledge, to upgrade some technical know-how, or put him into technical or a competitive program. We need to have separate levels of coaches.
So it's more like one athlete, one shooter goes through a whole range of coaches
Yes.
to work on different
Correct.
facets of his training.
Correct.
And you did not have all that. You sat and visualized your wins, and then you came back with wins. It just goes to show, the size of your performance, the weight of it compared to what an athlete does today. Not taking away.
See,
from
whatever
what
is
they
the
are doing.
result, your passion, gets you back to the range.
It always brings you back.
It always brings you back.
I can see that from your expressions and your face. I can see that. So Anjali, you talked about how training to be a champion is almost like a 9-to-5 job. You run an academy today where there are 30 to 40 students, but when you trained, even if there are more students around you, it's still not really a team sport. It is an individual sport, and you end up, because of that, spending many hours with yourself, your mind, your thoughts. It's lonely. So when you were competing and when you were training, did you feel that pressure of loneliness, and within that, was there more pressure because of the whole dynamic of the sport?
No, I think it's an individual sport, but it is a teamwork, because every step you need somebody's help. For yoga, you need yoga teacher. For mental trainer, you need physical trainer. While training, you need to have a good coach around you. And even if you are not training with the coach, the thought that a person is there behind me who knows everything about me. So whether I have any difficulty or any challenge, that person is there to solve that problem, solve that difficulty. So I can put my 100% focus only on that technique and that particular shot. So it's an individual event. When you're shooting, you are only responsible for the result. It's an individual show. Then beyond the line which we have on the shooting range, so beyond that, it's your battlefield. So you have to fight and win.
Right. So you talked about how today's youth, today's generation has so much more in terms of facility, technology, support staff for them to become champions. Keeping in mind that we are doing so much better, what are your hopes or goals for the future of Indian shooting?
Our shooters are very, very smart, very, very intelligent. We have all possible medals in shooting.
Yes.
Right from junior world championship, youth Olympic games, youth Commonwealth games, every medal we have in our kitty. And we are ranked number 1 in the country. And we have shooters like Isha Singh, Manu Bhakar, Rai Sarnobat, Swapnil Kusare, who has just won a bronze medal in the Olympics. So that's after 72 years, Maharashtra has won any Olympic medal.
Fantastic, yes.
So we have great achievements we have already, done in shooting, and the participation has increased a lot. Every day I get hundreds of calls who wants to join my academy. So in our days, we used to have 3,000, 5,000 shooters in the national category competitions. Now our federation has to organize pre-national, so for every zone, to filter out, because the entries are so much and it's difficult to handle. So during main national shooting championship, we have entries more than say 10,000 to 50,000. Wow. So that participation has also helped us a lot, because participation then increases the competition level. Correct. Competition level increases your competitiveness and the results eventually.
Right. And in terms of just your academy, Anjali Bhagwat Shooting Academy, what are your goals for your own students? Because a lot of them, I'm guessing, are young and are starting out in the sport also. So what do you want for them?
See, as a shooter, I would like to support everybody.
Right.
Right from elite category to basic one.
Okay.
Because I have seen the hard work, I have gone through that, and I don't want anybody else to face the same problem, go through the same struggle. So through my academy, we try to support shooters from humble family. We try to work harder on the intelligent shooters who are in the elite category. So we have different sections of shooters, and in my best possible way, I try to support them. Recently, we have one blind shooter as well. We have 2 deaf shooters and 3 para shooters in our academy. And recently, one of our deaf shooter, Shaurya Saini, he won the deaf world championship with a new world record, and in the able-bodied competition, in the able-bodied world championship also he won the gold medal. And one of my women shooter, Priyesha Deshmukh, she won the deaf Olympic gold medal in Tokyo. So we have all categories of shooters in our academy, and we try to support them.
So Anjali, 1 year before the Beijing Olympics, when I was still trying to qualify to make it, I went to the World Championships in Melbourne, and I was in the best shape of my life. I've also been since childhood a huge Formula 1 fan, and my cousin called me up and said, "You're in Melbourne. Are you aware that the Australian Formula 1 Grand Prix is day after tomorrow?"
Oh.
And I was so excited, but also unfortunately for me, it was the opening ceremony of the World Championship.
Oh.
And I said, okay, it was an easy decision because I was part of the 5 or 6 member contingent. So I said, I'm going for the Formula 1. I don't have to go for the opening ceremony because this is just swimming World Championship. It's not a games. It doesn't matter if one athlete isn't there. And I was very excited. I bought grandstand tickets to go and watch this Formula 1, and then I got a call and said that, no, but you are the flag bearer of the Indian contingent. Yeah. And I was with these 5 or 6 top Indian athletes, and I was representing the country. And within that moment of just representing the Indian swimming team, I talk about it with such pride. So, I cannot begin to imagine what it must have been like for you to be the flag bearer representing an entire nation of athletes. I want to know a little bit more about that moment.
Yeah, the proudest moment of my life, of course. I was already in Surrey. We had a shooting event organized in Surrey for the Manchester Commonwealth Games. So it was a Surrey University we used to stay. And some army shooting range was there. So I was practicing there. We finished our practice late evening, and I came back around 6:37ish. And before going for the dinner, it was decided to make a call at home. So I casually called, and my husband was so excited. Hey, hi, kya hua? Aaj kya hua? Arey, you don't know, the news hasn't reached there. No, what news? Nothing was there in my mind about it. And then said, Arey, you are selected as a flag bearer. I was like, wow. What? No, it can't be. There's some confusion. No, you are selected. Your name is there in the newspaper now. So I was super excited for that. And so many good athletes were there in other events like athletics, and but out of all, I was selected because I was ranked world number 1 during that time. I had good international circuit achievements, and then I was so happy. And when actually it happened, when I went for the opening ceremony, and I was holding the flag, all other contingents were preparing for their march past, and because it's serial wise, so we were standing. I comes later, so everybody was marching in. I was watching what it must be feeling when you enter. So I was a little curious about it, and when our name came, our slot came for Indian slot came, I was there, and 2 escorts were there with me. And they were asking to go fast. No fast. I have to,
enjoy the moment,
slow down my pace. I want to,
really
enjoy and experience each and every step of mine. And when I put my first aim, I remembered my coach who had, predicted this long time back when we had nothing in our hand. And usual we have many Indians in the spectator gallery because it was Manchester. So many big Indian flags were roaring, people were standing, shouting, applauding, and wow, it was like all goosebumps. And the flag actually was so heavy. I mean, I was initially very scared that I shouldn't be mishandling this.
Yes, I know.
thing. I was then conscious, but as I started that March past, now it was like,
A dream come
it's
true.
very difficult to put in words. I mean, it's a great experience.
I'm sure. That's fantastic. You could not have, I believe, gotten to the level and the standard you've competed at over so many years without feeling, not physically, of course, but mentally exhausted at some point. So when you talk about today, we speak of mental health, it's very new.
Yes.
It's sad, but it's still very new to an Indian sporting fraternity where we say, okay, do your physio, but then go and talk to your mental coach.
Correct.
And the access is there, but it's, I feel, still there only for a handful of our best athletes and not for the depth of, so you talk about 5,000 shooters. I do not believe 5,000 shooters have access to that level of mental, work.
Yes.
You didn't have, you had barely any facilities, let alone
We didn't even know P of the psychology.
Exactly. So you, I'm sure, must have had to deal with a lot of struggle through that period of downs, for example. So what is, if you were to put it into a nutshell, what has your relationship been with mental health over your years of your career?
See, basically, the basic funda is you should love what you do. So, and I feel very fortunate that I pursue my career in such field which is my passion, which I really love. So there was no regret, there was no looking back. Whenever I had failures, I had ups and downs, but then next day with the same energy, with the same passion, same crave, I used to be there on the range for the training. So that bonding, that love and passion keeps you, the way you should be as an athlete.
So Anjali, you told us a lot about how you did a lot of yoga preparation, you learned to control your breathing, slow down time, slow down heart rate to really focus in. I believe that some of that does also contribute to having maturity to be mentally calm and deal with mental struggles and battles that you face. Today, many athletes, many people who are out, successful entrepreneurs, businessmen are all, even men, are taking a lot of effort to and spending time on how they de-stress, whether it is a day at the spa or it is talking to a psychiatrist or or even for that matter skincare.
Okay.
So as it's very new, but it is here. So how have you had any experiences with how you took care of yourself, which helped your mental health through, say, a very stressful day at coaching or competing?
Yeah, athletes, they have to consciously take care of our skin or body or muscle tone, everything, because we have very erratic schedule.
Correct.
Very erratic food timing, meals timing. Then we have as we travel, we have jet lag, and it's very difficult for us to keep us hydrated because continuously we are in training. So it's difficult to maintain the intake of water. So for basically that, we need to take care of ourselves. That's a conscious effort. So keep yourself hydrated after your training. And whenever we have outdoor tournaments, like we have 50 meters where
Yes.
We are exposed to outdoor factors, so we try to put some lotions which is not greasy. I mean
Right.
sunscreen which is not greasy, because shooters, we use cheek piece. We
Oh,
keep
okay.
our cheek on the cheek piece, and
Right.
if the pressure changes or it slips, our shot will move.
Wow,
So
okay.
we need to select particular sunscreen lotion, and if you are there in the rash weather or dry weather, use some moisturizer which is also not greasy. So this particular thing we have to work on to keep us fit, because if you look good, you feel very confident. If you look
Correct.
good, it gives you no anxiety, and it's a pleasure for you. And I feel for me, the golden ratio for beauty is you should be very happy inside.
So we play smart, and today we are going to think fast in our rapid fire round brought to you by Moha Sunscreen. Anjali, this is, I think, going to be your most stressful rapid fire in over 30 years.
Okay,
of
finals.
not the actual rapid fire, but just these
Yes.
questions. We'll go easy on you. Okay, but we must know, if you weren't an athlete, what would you be?
No, I was an athlete, I am an athlete, I will be an athlete.
Fantastic. Okay. Do you prefer spray, lotion, or stick sunscreen?
Lotion.
Who inspires you the most?
My mom.
If there was one sport apart from your own, of course, that you feel you could have been great at, which do you think it would be?
Archery, maybe.
Okay. Which is your favorite song that you used to listen to get excited for or calm down for your tournaments?
My national anthem.
What do you do on a day off?
I listen to music and I travel.
And what is the one thing, if your fans knew about you now today, they would listen and be a little shocked about?
You will be shocked mostly because I have a hydrophobia.
Oh God. So remind me never to enroll you in the Rehan Poncha Swim Smart Academy. But jokes apart, if there was an ideal student to teach, though you are more senior to me,
Yes.
it would be you. If it was an ideal student to teach, I think it would be you. If there was an ideal teacher also and I was learning, and you never know, I may decide after I'm saturated with my golf that I want to now be a shooter. Because as athletes, I think we always want more and more and more. You would be the ideal student and the ideal teacher also.
Great.
And I love this part of the show because I get to completely embarrass my guests. but Anjali, it has, we've had several guests on the show and each one brings most beautiful energy to the show. They are so inspiring and they are huge achievers in their own right, as are you. But having said that, today I am really lucky because I got to interview a triple Olympian, a Khel Ratna awardee and Arjuna awardee also. We say that almost in passing. And what's really inspires me and stands out for me the most are two things. One is you're just incredibly confident of who you are. 30 years in the sport has tired you, yes, but you still talk about that first tournament that you went to, your international tournament in Madras, the SAF Championship, like it was just yesterday. Your coaching, I think, like it was just yesterday. And in spite of having an achievement list that is just never ending, we are trying to pick out one moment that you felt most proud of and you were like, okay, Rehan, see, I did this year, then my World Cup medal, then my Commonwealth Games medal. But in spite of all the success, it is so nice to see that your feet are so firmly planted on the ground. And for everybody watching here, as are I think the umpteen number of lucky students that will get to interact with you over their career, it is almost like it's just a thank you to someone like you, who is an athlete who started out not knowing whether this is her sport to winning pretty much everything there is at it. Olympic medal or no Olympic medal, you are possibly our greatest Olympian, and I think you have inspired so many girls and boys for so many years, and the ones that will watch you now to all fall in love with the smell of that smoking gun. So if I had to write a book on you, it would involve a tagline from it. You deserve that. There should be a book written on you because there's so much to learn from. We on set today have learned so much. So thank you for being here and sharing such a beautiful journey and story with us.
Thank you, Rehan.
So Anjali, I think you are the definition of the most perfect athlete and you built all your preparation to have the most perfect formula of success. So just like that, we've got Moha, Nature's Perfect Formula, a beautiful hamper for you as a small gesture of thanks for coming on the show and sharing so much knowledge with us. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's said that you can consider yourself very lucky if you see a shooting star go across your night sky. You're even luckier if you see it on your right. Today, I was the luckiest man in the room because I had our country's very own shooting star with me, Anjali Bhagwat, sharing a world of experience, knowledge, and most importantly, passion and joy that she brings from this sport. It was truly an honor and a privilege to be in conversation with her as she talked about lessons she has learned from a lifetime in sport that the current generation of shooters, young shooters, are so lucky to have with her in their midst. She ended by saying that I teach my students acceptance, that you learn to give it your all day in and day out in practice, and then when you go to compete, you let it all go and accept what comes to you. That is my greatest lesson, as it should be for all our listeners tuning in today. We've had a triple Olympian, a Commonwealth Games medalist, an Asian Games medalist, the list goes on, and a Khel Ratna awardee. But Anjali, you are truly a Ratna. You are the diamond of our nation, and we are so proud and glad to have you with us today. Thank you for being on the show.